to another edition of Bridging Realms. I'm False Freedom 691.
And I'm Dr. Gene Carlisle. We are coming to you from our own locations. I am at the Carlisle Estate, False, as you can see in GameStop. We're still social distancing, you guys, but we want to bring you all the good Bridging Realms research and info that you need in these trying times.
Yes, that's certainly true, Doc. We want to bring the best quality show possible, even though I'm still stuck in this fucking GameStop. I will be cleared of symptoms within the week, supposedly. I have not decided yet whether I will leave the GameStop or not.
Man, I don't know if I could make it in the GameStop. I know I am going a little stir crazy here myself, but this is a good time for research, you know? Both of us have been able to do some good research and get in deep to some crazy subjects, and you guys are really what's going to benefit from that. You know, the Bridging Realms audience, you guys are going to benefit from these hours and hours that we're able to keep researching and exposing truth here at the Bridging Realms Project.
Yeah, we want to expose a bit of truth tonight on a topic we've both been working on. We've been working on the Montauk Project.
Yes, very excited to get into this one. Very excited. There's so much to unpack with the Montauk Project. It's a very trippy subject. I know, very popular recently, and you know, I'm so excited to get into it.
Yeah, for sure. It's really even penetrated like media pretty heavily. It's actually the basis for the TV show Stranger Things, which actually worked under a working title of Montauk at one time.
Yes, I heard that. And you know, if you follow the storyline on Stranger Things, no spoilers here, but it's very similar. And you can tell where they took the inspiration, you know. And you know, I think we're about to see more in media, more inspiration from conspiracies and conspiracy culture in media, especially from To the Stars media, from Tom DeLonge. You know,
Yeah.
he's about to start putting out series featuring things that he says are inspired by real information that he has received from his sources, and then also probably featuring his own music. So look out for that, because that's coming around too. It's going to be very Stranger Things esque, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. And some of this media, we've talked about predictive media, but we haven't looked into media that's just straight up rip-offs of conspiracies. You know, just straight
No,
up like, I mean,
we
we're
really should.
we're gonna get into this guy Preston Nichols here in a little bit, but man, I gotta say, if I'm Preston Nichols, I am on the phone with some good lawyers. You can get that Netflix money.
Right. Yeah. Preston Nichols, for our audience, like he wrote this book about the Montauk Project, right? And claims he was a part of it.
Yeah. He claims to have been one of the people that was experimented upon, Preston Nichols, and had psychic abilities.
Right. Yeah. So he wrote books about this, claiming, you know, it was all true, right? And that he was part of it. Um, you know, it seemed like he kind of backtracked a little bit. You know, he writes at the beginning of the books that you can read it as fact or science fiction. Either way, you're on an amazing journey, and I respect that. You know, especially with the way human laws are written. You know, you kind of have to be able to avoid getting sued and shit like that. It's some of the one of my heroes, Whitley Strieber, author of Communion, has run into these same kind of problems. People calling him a liar, and when you've been abducted by aliens and shit, there's only so much you can prove. Part of the reason that I haven't put some of my experiences into book form yet, which we're looking into doing here at the Bridging Realms project, but I've only been able to commit it to episodes here and things like that because of legal reasons. Working with the Bridging Realms project's publishers, that's why we're still working on our copy, our secret copy of the Blue Planet project that we got. And we're still trying to get that out with the special notes, and then as well as my book, and False is also working on a book of his own uh, with conspiracy work. So we're trying to get that, just get past all the legal stuff. The legal stuff is crazy.
The legal stuff is crazy. The publishers just don't want to touch it. They don't want to touch outlandish, in their words, outlandish accusations that are being thrown around.
Right. Our publishers were one of the. They were actually one of a little tidbit here. One of the reasons that False's username was changed. We couldn't get some of them back because our accounts had been shut down since we're always getting things taken off. Um, Even what episode just recently Apple took off one of our episodes, right, False?
Yeah, they took down episode 7, El Chupacabra.
Right. So check that out, listeners. That's always a sign that things to come. That things are hitting, and that the government is probably going to cover something up, or something has happened or is about to happen. So if El Chupacabra stuff is getting taken down, like not long ago, Flat Earth was getting taken down a lot, and UFO videos were really being pumped and supported. Now I'm seeing some things being taken down, especially this Chupacabra stuff. So something may be coming up with the Chupacabra soon.
Yeah, and
Keep your ears out there.
Alex Jones as well recently got taken down on tinfoil.
Right, that's right. Anything with Alex Jones, we're mentioning him here, but we're not going to tag him in the episode. I mean, he'll instantly get it taken down. However, though, if Alex would want to come on the show, we would be honored to have him to share his voice on our platform. We like to hear all sides, all opinions. You know, and anybody listening that is also a conspiracy theorist that maybe has a following out there, or has written their own book or anything like that that they would like to plug, come plug it on Bridging Realms. Come to help us, and we'll help you bridge those realms with your book.
Yeah, 100%. We can get guests on here anytime. Preston Nichols, if you want to come on the show, man, come
Oh
on.
yeah, open call. Open call to Preston Nichols. We'd love to have you on the show. We'll bridge those realms. We can spark up a J and have a nice conversation about time travel, or whatever he wants to talk about.
Oh yeah, Preston in 1982 detailed repressed memories recovered through hypnosis. The Montauk Project Experiments in Time is the book.
We'll put a link to that book. Get you some sales there, Preston. Um, I did not read it, but I skimmed. I skimmed, and I got the cliff notes kind of on it. And it's very interesting, I'll tell you that. And it's a series that he's continued, so I did not go super deep into the later books yet, but I plan to. It's some interesting stuff, and yeah, we definitely love to talk to Preston about it. And he wrote this in '82, right?
He did. Where a lot of Project Montauk takes place really
Right.
I'm sure you're familiar with the Philadelphia experiment.
Yes, yes. And for our listeners, yeah, the Montauk Project, it originally starts with, it's based on this Philadelphia experiment, which was when, what, 1943 or something like that?
1940, the technology was developed. 1955 is when it occurred.
Okay, so you got 1940 to 1955 here, and supposedly the government, the military, were in what World War are we in here?
This would be World War II, I believe, right?
All right, yeah, you got to check your timeline. So, uh, World War II here is happening, and uh, the government needs to. They're working on cloaking, right?
Yeah.
Cloaking devices. They need to be off radar, and supposedly they're also looking into invisibility, which is something we've long heard that the government would be looking into. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Right. So they're trying to make a ship, right? Is this? Am I correct on that? A ship invisible?
Yeah, the USS Eldridge, and Tesla actually figured out how to do it in 40.
No shit.
No shit.
I did not see that in my research. Tesla actually figured this out in 40.
Yeah, so Tesla figured it out, and it was through an energy field over the ship. Well, in 55, the USS Eldridge is sailing, and there are two brothers on the ship, Edward Cameron and Duncan Cameron. They
All
fall
right.
off
Yeah.
the side. Yeah, they fall off the side, and they fall into the water. And the water enters just a wormhole around them, and they land in 1983.
Okay, so they're jumping from 55 in a sliders like wormhole to fucking 83.
Yeah, they land in 83. In 83, they kind of debrief them, say, hey, here's what happened to you
Right.
guys. Here's what we need you to do. We're going to send you back. We need you to destroy the cloaking device on this ship.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, so they go back, they destroy the cloaking device, and then they do bring them back, and Duncan Cameron is actually used for experiments. They figure out that Duncan can uh, basically astral project, but he will embody someone.
Oh
So
fuck.
yeah, so
So Duncan, he came back out of this experiment, and the experiment gave him powers.
yeah, it appears that way, or maybe he had the powers already. I think probably he had the powers already, and we'll get to reasoning behind that here in just a little bit. Um, Duncan could embody a person. He would feel what they feel, see what they see, hear what they hear, smell what they smell. Um,
Holy shit! So full quantum leap.
yeah, full quantum leap. He could do
Fuck,
it.
dude. So I mean, uh, we're talking. Duncan Cameron is basically Scott Bakula here.
Yeah,
It's full quantum leap.
he is Scott Bakula mixed with 11 from Stranger Things.
Fuck, dude. That's wild. Now, I mean, look for. I mean, folks, we're gonna have the Patreon set up pretty soon. I mean, we're gonna have to go back and watch some Quantum Leaps episodes now. For in our look into a predictive media, along with Stranger Things. Maybe there's a tie between those two universes. That's nuts, man.
Oh man, yeah, you're onto something on that TV
Wow.
universe.
Yeah, any Quantum Leap fans out there, leave some comments in the thread if you're listening right now, or tweet us at Bridging Realms Project on Instagram.
Sorry for the technical delay there, folks. We are back. Again, I am False Freedom 691,
And I'm Dr. Gene Carlisle.
And we thank you for joining us for this informative episode on Project Montauk.
Yes, folks, thank you. As you can see, I'm enjoying a little medical cannabis, getting myself on a better cosmic level to vibe with you all today. I hope you are all vibing well out there and ready to bridge some realms, opening all your third eyes. Just getting together on a cosmic level. This is the time for oneness, right? It's the time for us to all be together. So
Yes, sir. Let's get back to the subject at hand. So, before the break, we were talking about Duncan Cameron and what what he was able to do. So we were
right, yeah.
covering his abilities. So we need to cover some of the stuff that got Duncan Cameron and all of Project Montauk in some trouble. So Duncan was actually at a certain point able to remove his time lock. So what a time
Shit.
lock does is regulate your lifespan. So since Duncan popped his time lock, he was aging a year every hour.
Okay, so am I getting this right that a time lock would be a thing put onto you so, when you go forward in time, it doesn't age you, right? You would
Right.
be stuck as yourself, as your current age.
Yeah, so he was able to destroy his internal time lock, and
Oh, yeah, you shouldn't have popped that lock.
no, you don't pop that lock. That's
That's
one lock
fucked
you
up.
don't pop. Yeah.
So he starts D8, like he starts going downhill, Benjamin Button style.
Well, he was aging the other way. He was
Other
aging
way.
a year up every hour, so he was getting too old. So the government travels back in time and they go to his father, convince him to have another child. And so they get this baby and they transfer old Duncan's soul into the baby so they have a new Duncan.
So they used time travel to go back and convince his dad to fuck once more
Yes.
and make a new son that hopefully it comes out as a son. And then at what point is it part of the Montauk project that they figured out soul transfer? Is this
Duncan
research detailed?
Duncan doesn't really specify that kind of detailed research. Soul
So,
transfer
so
seems a bit more ancient to me. Like maybe you bring in a witch doctor of some sort.
okay, okay. I know. I've heard of some of this research with soul transfer. I know. With we see with our third eye, we astral project. I've done plenty of that. Um, Not as much, an expert on putting my essence into a new form, a new being. Um, but I've heard of others that have done this, and soul fractals and such. I've heard of those and those embodying humans here. Um, so wow, so you're telling me the guy, we're gonna put his website, Duncan Cameron's website, in the show notes. You're telling me the guy from Duncan Cameron, the website that I was looking at just earlier before we started this broadcast, that guy is Duncan Cameron number two. He's
Yes,
he's the
that's
second. He is his soul put into a new baby.
yes.
That wow, man, that's blowing my mind right now. I kind of missed that part. I didn't fully comprehend that part in the research and how heavy it was. That you go to the. I encourage all of you to click on this website because you're looking at the second Duncan Cameron. He's he's the second one.
Yeah, and he kind of opened a floodgate of child abductions and bringing.
Oh fuck, really? Seriously?
Yeah, so
Well,
initially,
great job, Duncan Cameron. There, fuck, dude.
yeah, they came from Camp Hero in Long Island, which isn't far from Montauk, and
Right, yeah, big tourist attraction now.
yeah, they would take them and they would experiment on them and mess with the psychic abilities, and then they would allow them to actually go home. So they did get to go home sometimes, but they were paying the families well to let them experiment on the children.
Oh fuck. Okay. So yeah, they're these the parents are kind of in on it, you know, because they're allowing this to happen and being paid well.
Yeah, and this is where again, Stranger Things with the children. This is where 11 comes from because they're theorized to be more than 10 of these children they experimented on.
Okay. Okay. So theorized to be a lot of these children. Yeah, I've read in on that. So you know, we hear about this kind of thing more. You know, like I said, I'm a fan of Whitley Strieber, so I've heard, I've read some of his stuff about secret schools. You know, and he's been abducted, and he said there were other people. And then you got stories out there like one of our favorite documentaries, Unacknowledged.
Yeah,
Stan Romanak story. He said there were others up there with him, and that they harvested his seed, um, and there's it's crazy because there's people like False, False would love to have his seed harvested uh, by some aliens to make some hybrids, you know. So I mean you'd probably go for your seed being harvested by the government if it was hot enough chicks for the experiment. I mean we've talked about that before.
oh yeah, anything can harvest my seed. Anything, all I don't even have to shut my eyes anymore. Just the thought of the seed harvesting is enough.
Right, but like I mean, would you go in? Would you be down for this? To get these crazy powers, like Duncan apparently came away with what he's able to be an empath. He's a seer, right?
Right, and he could summon objects into the room, just manifest them. He was able to do that just simply by thinking about them.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. That's a crazy power. I mean, I'd be a little bit into that. Um, I wouldn't want to be one of the other guys on the ship. It seems like Duncan came out great, and like his brother or whatever, and
yeah.
Preston seems to have been okay. But didn't it say that some people like either like completely died or went insane or like came back like fused into the hull of the ship or some fucking shit?
Oh yeah, they did. They would get fused with their arm on one side of the wall, and just all kinds of insanity. Um,
Shit.
so many people died in the Philadelphia experiment. There is a film adaptation of that as well. I recommend you watch it up. We do need to do some more movie recommendations, don't you think, Doc?
Right. We're going to be getting the Patreon set up very soon. We're going to have different tiers for you guys. And at one tier, we definitely want to do some movie reviews. We want to get into some of these movies inspired by, conspiracy theories, UFOs, paranormal shit, whatever. And get those reviews. Share that stuff with you guys. Let you know what we, the experts, think about some of this fiction that's out there. And then maybe some reviews on some documentaries, the stuff that's out there exposing truth. I know we've both been very excited about the new Secrets of Skinwalker series on the History Channel, and we'd love to get some reviews out of that to you, as well as like season one of Unidentified too, and really let you guys know what we know of that, or what we think of that series.
Yeah. Just more great content we'll have coming your way pretty soon. So we've got one more thing that Duncan Cameron did that really hurt the Project Montauk, and this actually led to the demise of Project Montauk. Duncan was doing his usual manifestation, and he actually managed to pull in a creature from another dimension.
Okay.
Again, Stranger Things,
Yeah,
100%.
academic organ, pretty much. Yeah, he
Yeah.
brings a feature.
Uh, this in the case of Duncan, was actually a Bigfoot-like creature named Junior. So Junior just starts going through the facility. He doesn't manifest in the room with Duncan. He manifests at the top, and he just
Oh,
starts working his way through, killing everyone.
oh
They
shit, he's fucking raging.
Yeah, they do eventually get him through a portal and back to his correct dimension, but not until he's done enough damage to shut the whole project down. You know, the government just didn't want anything else to do. They found the project too dangerous at that point to continue.
So they didn't even look into where this dimension was, like what he fucking came from.
Not as far as we know. Now, there is word that all over the country, these encampments still exist. That Project Montauk was not the only one, that Montauk still exists to this day in other forms and in other camps. So, kind of scattered throughout the country, things like this are still happening.
100%. I know we keep our ear to the ground with our research, and we definitely have heard of many experiments like this, and many things like this going around. So definitely, even though that project was shut down, we know how the government works around here. Everything is very compartmentalized. So even though that one was shut down, you definitely can bet that these experiments have gone on in other projects, or now the way it works, probably by privately funded companies that are, contracted by the government, privately owned companies, like Robert Bigelow's company or this new company that owns Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, and pretty soon TTSA probably.
Right? TTSA seems pretty in bed with the government. Um, I'll tell you this: know that here at BRP, here at the Bridging Realms Project, we are not contracted with the United States government. We are not affiliated with them in any way. In fact, they fuck with our shit all the time. They constantly get our episodes taken down. They've caused technical difficulties in this very episode right now. We have had many connectivity issues and technical issues with our shit because they are fucking with our connections because we're talking about this classified stuff and exposing truth. So know that when you're donating money to these publicly offered companies like TTSA, like To the Stars, know that they are in bed, completely getting fucked in the ass by the government, pretty much. Like I'd say they're riding the government like reverse cowgirl. Um, so they're taking it in the ass like gratefully with reverse cowgirl.
Oh yeah, they're practically begging for it. The government blacklisted me on Tinder, Grinder, Plenty of Fish,
I've seen it myself.
Not Enough Sheep, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle.
Yeah, I've tried to help False out. I mean, he's having to go to some fucking like obscure dating websites, really obscure dating websites to not get kicked off, where they've not found his profile yet, but they are definitely really trying to tighten that vice on your penis. They definitely do not want False getting any kind of action. Um, I mean, I hear you. They've tried to do that with me. They fucked with my medical marijuana application, and tried to get that fucked with me. Where the things that I love. So they'll mess with you, just like Bob Lazar. They're trying to Bob Lazar us pretty much.
Yeah,
They took away his MIT degree, man.
fucking. I don't know, man. Sometimes bringing the truth like we are, it's just
Yeah. I mean, what did they do to Tom? Did they take Blink from Tom?
they did.
Did they make Blink? Did they make Tom quit Blink 182?
They
We
did.
don't, we don't know. I mean, is this the real Blink 182 that we have now, or is the government doing that?
They still wanted to hear Tom's part on "I Miss You" though.
Well, of course, and you're seeing that right now. Like they're playing this whole show on Twitter. Tom's on there singing to people and saying he's got something special coming from his band and stuff. And then the CIA is over here tweeting casual disclosure. They're over there just like uh, casually during a pandemic, casually tweeting a link to their UFO files and shit like it's nothing. They're laughing in our faces while getting Road Reverse Cowgirl by Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, they are playfully licking at the asshole of disclosure and just lapping at it and not giving it to it.
Right. We want just full ass to mouth, basically, if you want to use that. We want full ass to mouth disclosure is what we need. And I think that's what our nation needs to heal right now, for one thing. And then also, if we could, get some fucking help from some of these aliens that the government knows exist. They know they're out there. And they're waiting to help us. We're just not letting them. That's my belief, at least.
Yeah, I really feel like if the if the space does exist, if the Earth is not flat, I feel like we would have found out by now. I feel like we would have found out. I feel like the aliens would be here bailing us out of this one.
You know, uh, I really wish they were, to be honest. And I know personally that there are aliens out there the government knows about. I know that there are extraterrestrials out there who have our country and our planet uh, in their hearts, and they want to help us. They just they know that humanity's hearts are not open enough right now. We are not open enough yet to receive them, and until we are, until we come together as a planet and be peaceful and intelligent and just chill the fuck out. They are not going to show themselves. They're not going to come help us, and especially because it would piss off the reptilians. Nobody wants to fight the reptilians if we are not worth it. We got to be worth it.
Speaking of reptilians, Boris Johnson in the hospital right now in ICU.
Right. So we know that it affects the reptilians. But not to get too much on the current events, back to Montauk Project, right? Which who knows? It's tied. The Montauk Project is tied into so many conspiracies. It could be like what we're going through today could be a lasting effect from this project
Yeah,
or the Philadelphia experiment.
it ties into JFK. It really ties into everything pretty neatly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of those conspiracies, right? We talked about these. If you go watch Zeitgeist or whatever, it's one of these conspiracies that can tie everything together if you take the thread long enough. So people warn you, don't go down these rabbit holes, But I'll tell you right now, this is the perfect time. Go down this rabbit hole. Definitely. That's a thing, thing we say to each other all the time here. If you feel like you're going down the rabbit hole, dive
Yeah,
and ram it in deeper.
go in head
Jam in,
first.
yeah, jam in as fucking deep as you can get, right?
Hmm.
And do that research. Jump to those conclusions, man. Jump to the biggest and most dramatic conclusions. Think big. Think huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Don't be afraid to think too big when it comes to conspiracies. Uh,
basically, your first idea is usually right.
yes, that's what we're. Yes, yes, that's what we need to realize as humans. Your instinct is right. Look with your own eyes. Right? Look with your own eyes. Pay attention. Stay woke. Wake up and fucking see what's going on. And it's clear. So definitely go down this rabbit hole. Check out the Montauk Project. Get into this time travel. We've done episodes on time travelers before, so I mean, I know a lot of our listeners are interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have. Guys, check that out. Our time traveler episode was pretty informative. Had a lot of true stories on it, and
Hell yeah.
stuff stuff you can really use in your everyday life. I think that about wraps it up for Project Montauk. You got any closing words you need to say, Doc?
No, do some research on it yourself. I'd say as far as my opinion from Dr. Gene Carlisle, I feel like it's pretty authentic. People can discredit it as science fiction for legal reasons or whatever. Wherever you want to put it in the fucking bookstore, I don't care. Preston Nichols says it's real. Duncan Cameron says it's real. I mean, the second Duncan Cameron says it's real. So I mean, it all lines up for me. It doesn't match up with the government's official timeline, but what does, right?
Yeah.
Whatever does fucking add up to their bullshit official timelines. So I'm gonna say it's verified as far as my research goes here, and we're gonna do some follow up episodes hopefully on this in the future. But I'm gonna say I like this thread. It's a good verified conspiracy for me. I'm definitely thinking it definitely took place, and our government is definitely doing these kind of experiments.
100% from me as well. I'll go ahead and sign off. I'm False Freedom.
And I'm Dr. Gene Carlisle. Keep bridging those realms.